space to make ASMR. I have to be able to sit and relax. Those are fireworks. I have to be able to sit and relax and not think too much, if that makes sense. But anyway, I've missed you guys so much. I can't even tell you. This is extremely therapeutic for me as well. And I really hope these fireworks are too loud because I don't have headphones. They probably are. They're probably loud as fuck and I probably won't be able to use it, but anyway, so for this video, I was trying to think of something very relaxing, something that makes you tired. And in my perspectives in natural science class, we are learning about the universe and like the laws of the universe, laws of motion, Newton's law, Hubble's constant, things like that. So I figured, what better way to put you to sleep? Because in all honesty, it is kind of boring, but it's very interesting to me. So anyway, the first thing that we're going to read, you guys can't really see it. There we go. Is something about supernovas. And if you don't know what a supernova is something that is created most of the time when a star dies. What happens is it runs out of helium and nitrogen, and it basically collapses it on itself and just makes a big explosion. Okay, so, but there's another type of supernova called an electron capture supernova. And these are extremely rare, and so rare that until recently, they weren't sure they existed. They thought they did, but they weren't sure they existed. So, but just recently they found one, and so I'm going to read to you about this Goldilocks supernova. Okay, so, and if you have ever heard of the crab nebula, this might be interesting to you as well. I'm sorry that light is so bright. I turned it off. Okay. So, scientists have discovered the first convincing evidence for a new type of stellar explosion, an electron capture supernova. While they have been theorized for 40 years, since like the 80s, real-world examples have been elusive. They are thought to arise from the explosions of massive super asymptotic giant branch or SAGB stars, for which there has also been scant evidence. And this right here, this is the Crab Nebula, which they now believe that the Crab Nebula is or was one of these electron capture supernovas, but it happened in like 1054 AD, so it's over 1,000 years old, and it's very hard to all of the chemicals have dispersed, so it's very hard. Okay, I guess it's close to July 4th. I really can't get too mad about that, but the fireworks are annoying. published in Nature Astronomy also sheds new light on the 1,000-year mystery of the supernova from AD 1054 that was visible all over the world in the daytime before eventually becoming the Crab Nebula. Now, in 1054 AD, when the Crab Nebula came into existence, it was visible all over the world for like 20-some days during the day, and then close to like 2 years at night, but we'll get into that. Historically, supernovae have fallen into two main types: thermonuclear and iron core collapse. A thermonuclear supernova is the explosion of a white dwarf star. A white dwarf star is basically a star that is dying after it gains matter in a binary star system. So that means that the white dwarf star and another star are encircling each other over and over. And as that happens, the white dwarf star gains matter from the other star. These white dwarfs are the dense cores of ash that remain after a low-mass star. One low-mass star is like 8 times the size of our sun, and it reaches the end of its life. An iron core collapse supernova occurs when a massive star is about 10 times bigger than our sun, runs out of nuclear fuel, and its iron core collapses, creating a black hole or neutron star. Between these two main types of supernovae are electron capture supernovae. These stars stop fusion when their cores are made of oxygen, neon, and magnesium. They aren't massive enough to create iron. While gravity is always trying to crush a star, what keeps most stars from collapsing is either ongoing fusion, like our sun, where helium and hydrogen are constantly being created, or in cores where fusion is stopped, the fact that you cannot pack the atoms any tighter. They're as tight as they can possibly be. In an electron capture supernova, some of the electrons in the oxygen, neon, magnesium core get smashed into their atomic nuclei in a process called electron capture. This removal of electrons causes the core of the star to buckle under its own weight and collapse, resulting in an electron capture supernova. Isn't that fucking cool? If the star had been slightly heavier, the core elements could have fused together to create heavier elements like iron, prolonging its life. So it is kind of a reverse Goldilocks situation. The star isn't light enough to escape its core collapsing, nor is it heavy enough to prolong its life and die later via different means. That's the theory that was formulated beginning in 1980 by Kenichi Nomoto of the University of Tokyo and others. Over the decades, theorists have formulated predictions of what to look for in an electron capture supernova, and they're super many unusual characteristics, some of which were seen for the first time in a supernova. It helped that the supernova was relatively nearby, only 31 million light years away. In the galaxy NGC 2146, this allowed the team to examine archival images taken by Hubble Space Telescope prior to the explosion and to detect the likely progenitor star before it exploded. The observations were consistent with another recently identified super asymptotic giant branch star in the Milky Way, but inconsistent with models of red supergiants, which are the progenitors of normal iron core collapse stars. Like, for example, when our sun dies, it will become a red giant. The authors looked through all published data on supernovae and found that while some had a few of the indicators predicated for the electron capture supernovae, only SN 2018 CD had all 6: an apparent SAGB progenitor, strong pre-supernova mass loss, an unusual stellar chemical composition, a weak explosion, little radioactive fallout, and a neutron-rich core. We started by asking, "What is this weirdo?" Hiramatsu said. Then we examined every aspect of Supernova 2018 CD and realized that all of them could be explained in the electron capture scenario. The new discoveries also illuminate some mysteries of the most famous supernova in the past. In 1054 AD, a supernova happened in the Milky Way galaxy that, according to Chinese and Japanese records, was so bright that it could be seen in the daytime for 23 days and at night for nearly 2 years, like I was telling you. The resulting remnant is the Crab Nebula, which has been studied extensively. The Crab Nebula was previously the best candidate for an electron capture supernova, but its status was uncertain, partly because the explosion happened nearly 1,000 years ago. The new result increases the confidence that the historic supernova 1054, which is the progenitor to the Crab Nebula, was an electron capture supernova. It also explains why that supernova was relatively bright compared to the models. Its luminosity was probably artificially enhanced by the supernova ejects colliding with material cast off by the progenitor star, as was seen in Supernova 2018 CD. Ken Nemoto at the Kavli IBMU of the University of Tokyo expressed excitement that his theory had been confirmed. "I am very pleased that the electron capture supernova was finally discovered, which my colleagues and I predicted to exist and have a connection to the Crab Nebula 40 years ago." He said, "I very much appreciate the great efforts involved in obtaining these observations. This is a wonderful case of the combination of observations and theory." Hiramatsu added, "It was such a eureka moment for all of us that we could contribute to closing the 40-year-old theoretical loop, and for me personally, because my career in astronomy started when I looked at the stunning pictures of the universe in high school library, one of which was the iconic Crab Nebula, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's the picture that I showed you. Taken by the Hubble Space Telescope. The term Rosetta Stone. Okay. The Rosetta Stone was, I'm not gonna, please don't staff scientist at Las Cumbres Observatory, an adjunct facility at UC Santa Barbara. But in this case, I think it is fitting. This supernova is literally helping us decode 1,000-year-old records from cultures all over the world. And it is helping us associate one thing we don't fully understand, the Crab Nebula, with another thing we have incredible modern records of, this supernova. In the process, it is teaching us about fundamental physics, how some neutron stars get made, how extreme stars live and die, and about how the elements we're made of get created and scattered around the universe. Hal is also the leader of the Global Supernova Project and lead author, Hiramatsu's PhD advisor. Okay, so I just wanted to read you guys that because I think it is super interesting, and this is the thing that I'm going to be writing my thesis on. And I honestly just find space and stars so fascinating. I think it's so cool that we, like our bodies, everything that exists, all matter that exists came from the stars. And I just think that's really cool. So I just wanted